All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to University of British Columbia for the National Championship Festival, Day 2 in beautiful Vancouver, BC. My name is Brian Kelly. It's been a great day so far here. Haven't even seen a cloud, and lots of great rugby action here. 1,000 athletes from provinces all across Canada competing for U14, U16, U18 titles. Doug Cross has been bringing you the action so far here today. I've been off dealing with Rugby World Cup qualifier information and our women's team at Nations Cup, so I'm joining you for my first game here in the U18 women's division. Going from right to left on your screen will be Ontario, and left to right will be Manitoba. A great game here in the works as we have a knock-on early, I think from the outside center from Ontario, and we'll have a quick scrum down to move on. I want to thank everyone for viewing today. These events are always important for developing the next generation of rugby athletes. Our men's and women have seen some incredible success this season, both at the under-20 senior, men's, women's, 7s, 15s. Everything has been a really successful year, and these athletes that you're watching right now are the next generation. As we come back up from a scrum. Take you through the roster for Ontario. In the front row, Colleen Aroa. Number 2 at hooker, Aaron Burke. Prop, Megan Pakulis. Brooke Newsom. Bailey Dean. Harley Bean. Aaron Geddes. Ingrid Grossbar. Jordy DiNardo. Catherine Belanger. Caitlin Richard. Madison Breton. Bailey Vetchen. Charity Williams. And at 15, Shelby Holland, as we have the play moving on. Manitoba ball, taking it up into contact. Let's look at the Manitoba side. Megan Keith, Charlotte West, Amy Totosi, Maggie Morgan Donald, Jane Roxburgh, Emily Totosi, Jenna Mears, Charity Marshashuk, Jessica Kalniak, Haley Grayson, Torin McIntosh, and Linda Mang-Era and Sydney Ward. As the play moves on, Ontario ball got an overlap on the outside. Great tackle there by the Manitoba outside center. Ball moving on, popped from the contact area. Just on the near touch line. Still Manitoba's ball, picked up by the scrum half. Charity Marshashuk. And the ball gets blown down for a knockout. As you'll see at this Rugby Canada facility, or pardon me, the BC Rugby facility, Rugby Canada's event, we've got members of the National High Performance staff, John Tate, Sandro Fiorino, head coach, assistant coach of the National Sevens program. Recently finished second at the Rugby World Cup Sevens for the women's team. Like I said before, these events are very important for scouting the next generation of rugby talent. Still 0-0 on the board between Ontario and Manitoba. Ball spun out. Going for a chip kick. Ball goes backwards, play moves on. Manitoba with possession. Commentated a Manitoba game yesterday. They play a very basic style, just banging it up from the number 9. As we have a penalty awarded for being offside, it'll be a Manitoba ball. They'll elect and go quick with the tap. Good run by the forward, popped to the number 6, Roxburgh, as Manitoba pressuring about 5 or 8 meters out now. This would be huge if they could get the first score of the game. Just running the ball up forward. Scrum half, popping it up. Good run there, but taken down about 5 or 6 meters out. And that ball is lost and stolen by Ontario. Play moves on. Numbers on the outside on the right if they can use it, but good tackling by the Manitoba defenders. Play moves on. Good break there by the Ontario player, trying to pop it backwards. Referee says play on, and player on the far side getting some gas on the outside. Does she have enough to get going? Breaks one more tackle. Pops to her player. Does she have enough gas to get over the line for the first try of the game? Yes, she does. And we have our first score as Ontario gets on the board. Not quite sure the number, but that was a great play, which all started down that far side of the field, breaking a few tackles from the original turnover from Manitoba. So they had the ball deep inside Ontario territory, and they ran it all the way back down, and we have our first score of the game. So the conversion is successful. Taking the early 7-0 lead is Ontario over Manitoba in the under-18 women's division here of the National Championship Festival. I believe that try was scored by number 5, Bailey Dean, and she ran the last 25 meters with great work from the rest of her team to make the breaks on the outside. And we have the restart, taken well by Ontario. Good run by the flanker. Ball popped and knocked on by Ontario and then by Manitoba with playing advantage, but it gets blown down. Reminding you that if you're listening from the Ontario region, we're hosting a Rugby World Cup qualifier, Canada versus USA, our senior men, on August 24th at BMO Field, downtown Toronto. Tickets start at $19. Going to be another great event. We had over 20,000 fans for our Ireland game on June 15th, and this one has much more significance as our men look to qualify for the 2015 World Cup in England. As we have a scrum with Manitoba ball just inside Ontario territory, as that ball a little sloppy coming off the base of the scrum. Looks like the ball has been stolen by Ontario. Good strong runner on that far side. Looks like to be number 6, Harley Bean. Now on the outside, same winger that made the last break, as Ontario is pressuring on that far side. Scrum half to the fly half. Good pickup there by the inside center, and that could have been a forward pass, and yes it was. So had the numbers on this left side, but couldn't quite distribute it out, and we'll have another scrum down for Manitoba. Like I said before, I did the Manitoba game yesterday, and they held up for a long time, but eventually the cracks started to appear, and it was against BC, and they lost 53-5. So let's see if they can put up another good performance in the first and second half here today. Manitoba ball. Spun out by the scrum half and kicked to about the 50. Taken well there by the winger on the far side. Pops to the fullback, to the flanker. Good set of hands there by Ontario. Spinning it out. Popping it off the number 10. Good run by the big forward from Ontario. Spun out. She's got one player on the outside. That's number 11, Caitlin Richards. She gets taken down. That pass came from, it looked like the other winger, but then scrum half with a great pop, but the ball was knocked on. That was by Jordy DiNardo. That was a great offload, but it just couldn't quite make the connection for the second try of the game. Just over 10 minutes gone in this game. Ontario leading 7-0 after that try from Bailey Dean. This tournament is difficult for these athletes because it is quite hot here today, and that sun is beaming down, and you know, they're playing 5 games in 5 days, and that's difficult for these young athletes. And the attrition and hydration of these players is so big, making sure that they stay rested and ready to be on their game. As that ball gets lost and picked up, could be an Ontario ball. Oh, Manitoba recover as they look to get out of their own zone. Big tackle there by the Ontario forwards. Good attacking opportunity here, but that ball looks to be knocked on once again. So Manitoba will have another opportunity to get rid of the pressure deep inside their half. This is a big scrum for Manitoba if they look to get out of this without getting scored on. As that ball gets blown down, we'll scrum down again. They're looking to get the ball out and boot it down the field. Down 7-0. Following this game on the main field here at UBC will be the U18 boys Saskatchewan against Ontario 3. That one's coming up at 3 o'clock Pacific time. Right now we've got Ontario versus Manitoba in the U18 women, and a penalty, a quick tap has been awarded to Manitoba. And we have a line out now for Ontario just outside the 22 as that ball gets moved on, but it unfortunately was not straight. If you're new to the game of rugby, a line out has to go 5 meters exactly straight in between a 1 meter channel, and the two teams can contest for the ball, and that one was just a little bit biasly thrown in to the Ontario side. Still 7-0, Ontario leading Manitoba here. And we have a ball for Manitoba as they look to get back into Ontario territory. As the referee blows it down again, making sure the scrum is perfect for these young athletes. Big thank you for everyone who is viewing this game right now. Not sure if you guys are all aware, but the Nations Cup finals are set on Saturday. Canada defeated South Africa 53-15 yesterday, and they'll face England in Colorado. So that's Canada's national senior women's 15s team. Incredible victory to start off against England, and another big win last night against South Africa. So congratulations to our women's athletes, and we're wishing them all the best on Saturday as the ball moves on here. Manitoba spinning it out wide, got a bit of room now. Kept in play there by the winger from Manitoba. That was number 21, Erica Cranston. Good desperation play to keep the ball going. Now, the number 8 from Ontario, very strong ball runner. She pops it to the number 3, to Megan Parulis. And Ontario on the front foot here. That play all started from Ingrid Crossbar. Ontario now Spinning to the right side. Crossbar. And ball gets taken into touch, so some great tackling by Manitoba. Been pinned deep inside their 22 for about 8 minutes now. Defense holding strong. And the try is scored. And that was a quick turn of events there for Ontario as they capitalized for their second try of the game to now lead 12-0 over Manitoba. Referees for this contest, the number 1 official is David Crisp from Alberta, and his first assistant, Toby Mustel from BC, and Rob Klatt, also from BC, as we await the conversion attempt from Ontario as they lead 12-0 over Manitoba. About 17.5 minutes gone in this first half. Struck well. And it is good. What a great kick there by Ontario. That was struck well. That was not an easy kick going across the body. Conversions are so important in the game of rugby, adding that extra 2 points, especially in close games. We see it so many times where the conversions either make or break a win or loss for a team. So having a kicker like that is very strong for this Ontario side. Now, Manitoba, another great restart there from their kicker. And that ball gets knocked on, bobbled there by Aaron Geddes. Or Geddes. Manitoba ball. 35 meters out. Picked up by the scrum half. Good play by the referee to keep that ball not offside, as there was a bit of a miscommunication there between the 10 and 12 as they ran into each other. And I think one thought switch, another one thought fake, and that ball gets dropped. Ontario put in the scrum now. Going left now is DiNardo to the 10. A bit of room to move now is the number 11. That's Caitlin Richard. She pops that pass and joins directly in the ruck as Manitoba look to steal this ball. Ontario having a bit of difficulty, but they are awarded a penalty, and they elect to go quickly. That's DiNardo. Pops to the number 10, to the hooker, and that ball moves on, popped off the deck. Good urgency here from Ontario as they look to score their third try of the game, already up 14-0. Manitoba reorganizing their defense. Great job there by Manitoba to keep that ball up and stop them from recycling it. And it'll be Manitoba put in the scrum now. Exciting news that tomorrow we're going to be hosting a autograph session and photo opportunity with the 2011 Rugby World Cup standout Adam Kleberger. You may remember him for having a fairly infamous beard that was known around the world, true representation of Canadian rugby while he was down there as well, making some ferocious tackles in all 4 of the World Cup games, including the victory against Tonga in New Zealand. So that'll be happening tomorrow from 11 to 12:30 and also 2:30 to 4 at the facilities here at UBC at the merchandise tent. Manitoba at their 22, ball to the number 10, to the center, to the outside center, wrapped up, good tackling by Ontario, back at the tackle line. Manitoba popping it from the number 9 to the forwards. They take it in. Ball recycled. Spun again. Good tackling here by Ontario. And we have a penalty awarded to Manitoba for the Ontario player coming from the side. And it looks like Manitoba will kick to touch. And if they get it out there, it'll have a line out. Good boot there by the number 10. So we will have a line out just in front of the camera here. 14-0 with 7.5 minutes to go in this first half. And that ball picked up by Manitoba, and they're just at their 22. Both teams still contesting this ruck right now, and that ball is bobbled and dove on it by the Ontario player, and just bouncing around right now, waiting for someone to secure it. And here goes number 8. That's Crossbar, and she throws it out wide, and we will have another try for Ontario. That was a great burst of speed there by that player. Can't quite get a number. But Ontario now lead 19-0 with the conversion coming, and it looks like it's number 7, Aaron Geddes, who is kicking for goal. You don't often see a flanker taking shots for the extra 2 points, but she's 2 for 2 so far. Just confirmed that that try was by Bailey Vachon from the outside center position. Great burst of speed to get past the defender and dive down for the 3rd try of the game. So as we await the restart here, we have about 5 minutes left in this first half. Ontario leading Manitoba. Looking for Manitoba to get on the board with their first points of the game as the ball high restart bobbled by 2 Ontario players just near that line, near touch line. Manitoba ball. As we have a penalty awarded to Ontario for not rolling away by the Manitoba player. So we will have a line out about 40 meters out for Ontario. Ball picked up by the scrum half. Working it through the hands to the try scorer. Good pace there from the outside center, but that ball is knocked on So it'll be Manitoba advantage. So we will have a scrum down Manitoba ball. Stay tuned at halftime in about 4 minutes. We'll be chatting with Canada Under-20 women's head coach Sandro Fiorino about the importance of this tournament and his Nations Cup victory in England recently. So stick around for that. Manitoba now with the put-in. But it's lost. Ontario ball. They look to use the hands on the left-hand side. Good play there by the number 10. A good wrap tackle by the Manitoba. I believe that was the inside center. Good pickup by the Ontario winger. Dancing close to this line and getting tackled out of bounds there was Caitlin Richard. It's always difficult when you're a winger and you get a pass like that thrown at you. 1 meter out, you have to make sure you use your step to come back in and not to get wrapped up into touch. As we have a line out for Manitoba, Charlotte West, and that ball is lost, thrown out now by DiNardo, and chip over the top by the Ontario fly half. Bit of pressure for this Manitoba fullback. She gets taken down hard just inside the 22. And we have a knock on by Manitoba as we see one of the forwards for Manitoba is down, receiving some medical attention. So we're taking a quick break here while we wait for one of the players receiving a bit of medical attention. She gets up and runs back into the action. Not much time left here in the first half. U18 women's Manitoba against Ontario. So this is big for Manitoba if they want to get out of this first half. Only down 21 points. They're going to have to put up a good defensive stand here against Ontario with a scrum just inside the 22. Ontario ball. DiNardo. Watch from the base of the scrum there. Crossbar. She's got lots of pace. DiNardo. She gets tackled on that right side. Well, the ball once again is knocked on, so a failed scoring opportunity for Ontario. So Manitoba will look to relieve the pressure and get out of this. Nearing the end of the first half. Ball won by Ontario, pops out again, but the referee blows it down. It looks like the ball will once again be given back to Manitoba. So, Manitoba ball being put in by Marshashek. To the fly half, to the inside center. Oh, and picked off. What a great play there by, I believe, Vachon. She scores her second try. Just came out of nowhere. Great vision there by the Ontario player. And just read that like a book. So she scores her second try in just a couple of minutes. Great play there by Bailey Vachon. So 26-0 scoreline now with the 2 points on the line. And the conversion is good. And we have halftime. So there, Ontario will take a 28-0 scoreline into the halftime. And some great kicking there by the number 7, Erin Guedes. So the second half will be a tough mountain to climb for Manitoba, as we are here at the National Championship Festival at UBC in Vancouver. So joining me now is the head coach of Canada's under-20 women's team, Sandra Fiorino. Sandra, are you liking what you're seeing here today?
Some great rugby, high-level skill, and some phenomenal athletes out there. There's some size and speed. You really can see on both sides of the field them exercising what they have to show today here at the National Festival.
Let's talk a little bit about, from a high-performance perspective, what are you here to see from these athletes?
Just recently, we just finished the U20 Nations Cup to 2013, and this is probably the early stages of us preparing for the next Nations Cup, which is in 2015, and we're trying to identify players that will participate in that cycle. So we're looking for, obviously, speed, agility, power, and some size, which is really the foundation of Canadian rugby right now.
Let's talk a little bit about the Nations Cup. You guys, it's pretty easy to say you had a very successful tournament, going 4-0 and winning. Talk a little bit about how you guys came together as a group and the excitement around winning it.
Yeah, I mean, what a phenomenal tournament with that team that we put together. But again, it was a long process, 18 months to 24 months of finding these athletes, and a lot of credit goes to these provincial programs that develop these players over the years, where we don't have that visibility to them, and a lot of them play at a high level at the CIS. So again, finding these athletes, all of them are great leaders, and bringing them together, and within 2 weeks, obviously the simplicity of putting a good system together, the athletes really take over the program, and we really empowered them when it came to game planning and decision making. So I mean, it's a pretty bright future out there for rugby in Canada.
Speaking of the bright future, Canada's women's sevens team also finished second at the recent Rugby World Cup Sevens, and you're the assistant coach of that team. Is it difficult to differentiate between sevens and 15s with these girls, or you're really trying to just grow the game at the women's level in general?
Yeah, I mean, at this level, you're trying to find athletes, right? And obviously the game of sevens is going to change over the next couple of years, but you can see it already. It's speed, size, and power, right? A lot of the players are averaging the heights of, between 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" in other countries like New Zealand, and the speed and power is out there, right? And so we're really, when we're doing a testing combine here, we brought in Dana, our speed and strength and conditioning coach, and we're really just taking an opportunity to test athletes here to see how fast they are and see some of some power transfer with their jumping ability. So yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity to find some sevens athletes here and possibly some 15s for the future.
And speaking of the 15s team, Canada's women defeated South Africa yesterday 53-15 to advance to the Nations Cup final. Must be a pretty exciting time for them, and they must be looking forward to it on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, the country is building some momentum here in Canada with the success of the sevens program and the success of the U20 program. It hasn't stopped, right? You've seen that the senior 15s really pick up that momentum, and despite a poor performance against the U.S., they bounced back yesterday against South Africa, and I'm pretty excited to see what they can do in the finals against England this weekend.
I think the entire country is excited to see Canada go for the Nations Cup. championship on Saturday. Thank you very much, Sandro.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine.
We'll be back in just a minute with the second half of Manitoba against Ontario in U18 Women's National Championship Festival here from UBC in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia.
So back for second half action. Doug Cross here as Brian Kelly darts off to take care of some business. And we have Ontario in a comfortable 28-0 lead over Manitoba. Remember, next up we have Saskatchewan versus Ontario. And that is in the, let me look at my little style guide here, the U18 men's division coming up. Being the colorblind guy in this colorful schedule world, can always double check those colors. So, referee David Crisp has blown the whistle. Maybe that was over in another field. I think that was another field. There we go. That's Mr. Crisp's whistle. The restart from Ontario. Manitoba knocking on right away. And not the start they would be looking for as they try and claw back from 28 points down. So it'll be a scrum for Ontario at Manitoba's 22-meter line. And the way these Ontario women have been hitting with a pretty consistent strike rate here, this is a tantalizing prospect for them. Look at that, scrum's gone to ground, and we'll have it again. A bit of a crashing to the ground there. Hope everyone's okay. Great hearing Brian Kelly and Sandra Fiorino having a conversation about women's rugby in this country, and really on the ascendancy. All the evidence points to great success coming Canada's way in the next few years. Great 2013 for all the women's programs involved at Rugby Canada level. These Manitoba women, while maybe not enjoying a 28-0 score line, are learning a lot from the obviously more, I don't want to say skilled, but more experienced Ontario side. That ball going to the back foot now, a little bit of a drive on, and quick spin pass from Jordy DiNardo. Saw her dad Bill here, and they've got another DiNardo playing in the competition as well. So the DiNardos supporting their kids well. Bill DiNardo from the Balmy Beach Rugby Club in Toronto. Looks like this will be an Ontario try. Oh no, now Manitoba's managed to put in a last gasp tackle here. Oh, and just the brief touchdown there for the try. Trying to see if that is DiNardo that scored that one. Quite possibly could have been DiNardo. We'll find all the official scoring and box scores available online at nationalfestivalrugby.com. Updated throughout the day, but by the end of the day, you should have complete box scores of each match, and also scoring totals amongst each of the competitions here. And you think the kids don't notice that stuff, but you're talking about, hey, you're fourth in scoring. You're just 2 points behind on this guy. You've got to get it up here. And so there is another score, and that'll take Ontario to 35-0. So everyone's settling into routine here on day 2 on field 1. Activity everywhere on the rugby fields around here and over on what's called field 4 over by Thunderbird Stadium. But everyone was excited day 1, and now you got to sort of pace yourself because there's 5 days of competition here. As Manitoba gets the restart, and that's a great take by Bailey Vachon. And now she's offloaded. Wow, some powerful leg pumping action there from Ontario. Ball still going. We have a Manitoba player down behind the play. Great job by DiNardo distributing that ball out wide, and that's the inside center, Madison Bretan. And Ontario looking for another try, and they will get it. I want to say that was Charity. No, it wasn't Charity Williams. Maybe Caitlin Richard over on that wing. Rita Charest is actually who scored it, getting confirmation from the Ontario bench there. And we will add
Whistle. And he is blowing it down now. He's going to be speaking with some of the Ontario players, perhaps reaching into his pocket for a card.
Seen a few yellow cards, mostly for repeated infringements, nothing sinister. I think that was just a good talking to by Crisp, but certainly next infringement we'll see someone going.
Popped and given to the girl on the right-hand side. Now, Manitoba about 7 meters out. About all 8 of their forwards in that ruck as they're looking to just power this one over the line. I don't think the winger is going to get a sniff at this ball. I think if they're going to score here, no, they're not. That ball is won by Ontario. With the knock-on coming from Manitoba once again. So it'll be an Ontario ball about 5 meters out. $45-0 still the score. Ontario leading Manitoba in the U18 women's. Ontario bringing in a couple of subs now. Or pardon me, Manitoba bringing in some subs.
Some fresh legs might help there late in the game. I mean, it's not going to be means to an end here, but I think right now the game for Manitoba is to score try, and that will be vindication enough against this powerful Ontario side.
Manitoba's next game coming tomorrow against Nova Scotia at 10:30 a.m. That's on Field 2, so will not be streamed. Ontario's next game is tomorrow versus BC at 1:30. That one is also on Field 2. Alberta and Newfoundland and Saskatchewan, Quebec, the women's both get some coverage on Field 1 tomorrow at 9 a.m. and 12. As Ontario getting wrapped up. Great tackling here by Manitoba, pushing them back onto their goal line. And a great...
So that'll be a scrum 5, I think, for Manitoba, because the ball carrier was actually an Ontario player, despite the fact they were being carried across by Manitoba.
So that's a good push there by the forwards and some good tackling. So an opportunity for Manitoba to cross the whitewash. Manitoba now, 5 meters out. Great scoring position.
Ball in quickly.
Picked up there by Manitoba. Good hands by the fly half, and a big tackle there by number 21. That's Mandy Beneff. Now,
great tackle.
Ontario showing some intensity in their tackles deep inside their red zone. Looks like, not sure who has this ball, but a penalty is awarded to Manitoba. And they're going to look to go quickly, but the referee blows it down. Speaking to one of the Ontario players. Potential for a card here. Yeah, and a card.
Someone's being shown the gate there. Well, are they? It looked like, yeah, I think she doesn't understand she's been sent off.
So we have a yellow card to number 21. That's Mandy Beneff.
Who put that big leathering tackle on Manitoba player.
So Ontario will be short a player for 10 minutes. And Manitoba is looking to get on the board as the goal tee comes out.
Now, Coach, you're down 45-0 with a player advantage. Is the go-to play a kick at goal?
I don't know. Never been a coach, so I personally I think you want to get points on the board, but you've got to come right back at them after the kickoff. So.
I don't know, I would have kicked to the corner or even called the scrum and tried to get that try, because you're probably not going to have a better chance than being 5 meters out with a penalty.
So as lining up now is the number 10, Jessica Kalniak.
And she scuffs it wide after all that too, doesn't even get the points.
So misses just right in the penalty, and we will have a 22-meter dropout now for BC. Smart move there by the Ontario player, as she just quickly taps it over the 22-meter line, and play moves on. So Ontario down one player, chipped over the top by the fly half. Manitoba under some pressure as that ball bounces awkwardly and booted on. So we have a bit of sloppy play here as Ontario looking to secure the ball. They spin it out. That's number 12 to 22 to 23. Good passing here by Ontario. Some slick moves on the outside. Play moves on. Manitoba trying to get organized in D. Vishano has got numbers on the outside, and Ontario will score. So what a turn of events. Started down the one side with an opportunity for a penalty goal. Misses right, goes all the way back down the field. Great hands there by Kelsey Owen, Rita Carest, and finally scored in that left corner. So Manitoba, with the man advantage, not taking advantage of it.
So, Manitoba's got to be disappointed being all the way down the other end, not even coming away with the penalty kick. Instead, they're watching Ontario line up for yet another conversion. And so they may rue the day that they didn't take the chance. Up to an even 57 points now. Oh, I'm sorry the conversion was missed. I wasn't paying attention there. So it's 50. So Manitoba will restart this. That's a good restart. A bit of a panic pass out there from the Ontario player. No one wants to get tackled here. It's 17, Brittany Whiting. Look at that. She's found a path outside. And one to beat, but she's brought down. Good open field tackle on the fly there. Ontario retains possession. The big forwards taking the ball up the middle. Now some spin pass down the right side there. And another try. So the wheels truly falling off the cart here for Manitoba now. So Kelsey Owen scoring the latest Ontario try. Take her team up to 55-0 with the conversion to come, and still 15 minutes left to play. So this score could start getting away from Manitoba if they stop making their tackles. Flags go up. And so does the score, up to 57-0. Doug Cross bringing you coverage here. We still have one game to go this afternoon. And that is going to be 3 o'clock Saskatchewan versus Ontario 3, men's U18 division. I'll tell you what, if nothing else, Manitoba has great restarts. Oh, drop ball by Ontario, so it'll be a scrum for Manitoba inside the Ontario half. Oh, we've shorted Ontario there. It's 57-0, not 7-0. Fix that. Good driving maul by Manitoba here now. Now quick spin pass to the left. No look pass finds its target, but really only by luck. And boy, the Ontario defense right up on Charlotte West there. Hooker for Manitoba. See that Ontario prop getting pulled out of the maul situation. That's 19 for Ontario. Now Dorian Curry. And Ontario seems to just punish Manitoba with every touch of the ball here. Oh, there's a big break by the inside center, Madison Bretan. She managed to pass that, but it'll drop ball. It'll be a knock on. So what Brian was talking about earlier, a little bit of white line fever, everyone trying to do too much too fast. So another try stopped by their own design. Manitoba will just breathe a sigh of relief. And reset that scrum. So these two packs taking their time to reset here. Great pictures being provided by our camera person Jillian this afternoon. It's been a long day for her and more to come. I could tell she's just excited as heck to coming back for a few more days of this. Manitoba piling the bodies through there, trying to get something cooking, but they've lost the ball at the breakdown. Ontario now picking that up from the loose, trying to fling it back the other way, but now Manitoba's gotten it. So honestly, there had to have been a knock on, and that is indeed the case. Knock on, and it'll be scrum to Manitoba. No advantage coming to the Westerners. So really, play has not moved from that spot for about 3 minutes. If I think your video player has frozen or something, but you can still hear my voice, it's because these two teams have not moved more than a couple of meters as referee David Crisp, receives some instructions from the sideline. Takes a lot to put one of these tournaments on, and the referee's certainly part of that when you consider that there's two assistant referees, the main referee, and then a fourth official tracking scoring and substitutions. Plus the ball volunteers, the ball people around three fields. You start doing that math, it adds up pretty quickly. Then there's assessors of the referees, listening to the microphone comments of the referee and letting them know how they're doing. So it's not just the players getting assessed here. Referees will get the benefit as we see a one hopper into the hands of the Manitoba fly half, Jessica Kalniak. So the two front rows, again, I mean, I'm telling you, these teams haven't moved still from that previous comment. We've got to get something cooking on this game. It's starting to go cold on the stove here. Now a spin pass from Ontario. Driving into the line, that's Charity Williams, it looked like. Sorry, got her mixed up. Bailey Vachon. It's the front row, Megan Pakulis. She's done well getting that ball out wide now. And that'll be Bailey Vachon with the try. So the score now 62-0 with the conversion to come. Well struck ball. The kicking clinic continues for Ontario. Great job there. 64-0 the score now. That's number 20, Charlotte Dunn, doing a great job kicking there. There's also a second row. You don't see that much. You tell by the way her legs are taped that she plays in the scrum. Oh, drop ball. Has it gone back? It has, says Crisp. Now flat pass. Really, Ontario's going to steepen their attack up now. Almost a forward pass thrown. That's done. She's tackled hard. Kind of landed awkwardly, poor girl, and she almost hurt her shoulders there by landing awkwardly. Ball staying Ontario's side. Good service from the fly half, Belanger. Now it looks like another path has opened up. Oh, and it closed down just as quickly. A pair of Manitoba tacklers taking away the attack there from Ontario. Now long blast to the whistle from Crisp. Manitoba retreating. Is another Ontario try in the offing. If they can get the ball wide, it might well be. Instead, maybe the players get a little single-minded in their approach now. There's another pass inside, and that's number 8, Ingrid Krausbauer. Okay, got better eyes over there than me. Harley Bynan. Oh, Harley Bynan, yeah, number 6. You know, in all fairness, your font choice, 6 and 8 looks an awful lot alike from 80 yards. we need a better font on the back there. So number 6, the flanker, Harley Bynan, nudging that score ever higher now. 69 with the kick to come. It's an impressive display here. Oh. And flags are up with 4 minutes left. Oh, not even 4 minutes. Called an end to the festivities here at 72-0. Sorry, 71-0 is the final score, pardon me. And so that will do it from Field 1 for now. Next game is coming up at the next and final game, 3 o'clock. So just about 22 minutes from now. So we're going to kill this feed as we've been doing all day. Just refresh your page. Feed will come up as we archive all these games, we have to have individual feeds of the game. So for Brian Kelly, I'm Doug Cross, and we'll be back.